Good morning,
Good morning.
Matt. Welcome to the ABER Podcast series on scalability. So, before we start talking about scalability and how ABER's approach has been towards scalability, let's just talk a little bit about you and your journey.
Okay, sure.
So, for those who are unfamiliar with you and your journey, can you just quickly remind us what you do for ABER?
What I do for Aber? Well, right now I'm the CEO of Aber Group. And I am charged with looking after the whole of Aber and all its operations, all the things it does. But I originally started back in 2006, I think, as a manufacturing technician on the manufacturing floor at Aber. I relatively quickly moved into R&D and spent a good bit of time in the R&D part of Aber, both being an engineer, which is my original training, but also managing and running the small R&D team. And we had a very exciting and rewarding time doing that. We made a lot of our core products, the third generation core products, we call them. So the FUTURAs, the Compacts, and all that sort of broad range of products that we sell now.
When you first started working for ABER, though, we were on our second gen?
Yeah, we were selling BM220s and that series type of stuff when I first joined. And even we're still servicing the first generation as well.
So you were heavily involved with the transition from second gen to third gen then. So were you in
Yeah.
R&D at the time? Or?
Yeah, I was in R&D.
Okay.
I was working with Tim and the others, and Bob himself.
Yes.
Who was full-time working with us then.
Yes.
So we were building that product portfolio, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we did that for about 3 years, probably, building all those.
We've spoken about this before, Matt, maybe not on camera, but you are one of those classic ABER stories where you start in one department, move to
Yeah.
another, then move to another, and now you're obviously the group CEO.
Yeah.
But you'll find many stories like this within ABER,
Yeah, you
where
do.
people
Yeah.
start in one department and then the people around them recognize their potential,
Yeah.
and they're either they make lateral moves or they're promoted
Yeah.
to other departments.
So I spent a lot of time doing technical support,
Yes.
partly because I'd been so involved in the R&D part of putting it together, partly because there was a natural gap that was needed to
Yes.
be filled. And so, yeah, I got a very fortunate experience being able to see the workings of building the products, but then also them in use in the field, which
Yes.
is very interesting.
You are an engineer.
I am.
You're like the classic engineer too, according to me. How have you dealt with the application side of our technology, the biology?
Well, I guess I am an engineer, but I'm also a problem solver
Yes.
at heart.
Yes.
So it almost doesn't matter what the problem is. I want to solve it. And yes, my natural interest is probably electronic engineering. But even as CEO, what I'm doing is trying to solve problems. Really. They're just different sorts of problems. So I think probably that's the way I come at it. So in terms of applications going out into the field, it's then solving customers' problems and looking, they're using our kit, what are the good experiences they're having, what could we do better?
Yes.
And potentially bringing that back into Aber
Yeah.
to try and improve things. in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. I can speak from experience, Matt, that I feel engineers can learn biology.
Yeah.
Biologists cannot learn engineering unless you have a foundational knowledge. I don't know, like at least from my perspective, my background is biology.
Yeah.
I know more about engineering than I used to when I first started working for ABER.
Yeah.
But I think the way, let's say, Bob
Yeah.
or you have taken like the biological concepts in,
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do that for engineering.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think that's fair. And I think, but I'm not sure I'd say it's more of a need. Like, I think biologists don't I think they can learn it. I don't think they want to learn it. I think they want to do biology.
True.
And
True.
if you sum up what Aber Instruments does as a whole, I'd say we are an engineering company. We're doing engineering, maths, physics for biologists.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we want to enable, we're problem solving measurements and providing information to biologists so they can do their biology better.
Yes. You make a very good point. Our core audience, so to speak, or our demographic or our users of our
Yeah.
technology, they are
They're all
biologists.
biologists.
They-
all different forms of biologists. but-
All different
yeah.
forms of biology in different stages of process development, manufacturing, etc.
Yeah.
But mostly
And different sectors too. So you've got like brewing
True.
and biotech. They're still biologists,
True.
but they're doing very different approaches.
Yeah, and like you say, they want to do biology. They
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
focus on the cells. They don't want to know what's happening behind the scenes. They want
Yeah.
an answer to their questions. They want solutions to their problems, and
Yeah.
that's what. Like
So
you
their
said.
problems are in biotech pharmaceutical world. It's all about making medicines make people better or whatever, and in brewing, it's all about making sort of
Good
beers,
quality beer
in a certain
consistently.
way. That's what
Yeah.
interests them.
Yes.
The kind of mechanics and measurements of how you do that are
Mm.
tools they need to use,
Mm.
but they don't want to know.
Mm.
It's too much. It's too much, isn't it?
Yes.
If you try to learn everything.
Yes.
and try and work on that.
So then the challenge for ABER then is, how do you make sure that these biologists trust ABER technology? So how do you think that, what has our approach been over the years?
Well, I think we're very fortunate that in our core capacitance measurement, it does relate to national standards, right? It's not an abstract measurement. It is an absolute SI unit
Yes,
measurement. Right?
yes.
This is a purist engineer part,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And you want to keep that pure and you want to keep
Yes.
that right. So when I'm back in R&D thinking about building FUTURAs or whatever, you're looking to get everything to measure the same result to national standards primarily. So, and that's a link you want to make. And it's probably quite easily a given in the sense that you get a device and you measure something, and you get another device and you measure something, and you're expecting it to be the same. Right?
Yes.
You get two weighing scales in your kitchen.
Correct.
You're expecting
Exactly.
grams to be
Yeah.
grams.
Yeah.
But actually, that's very hard to do. Even on a weighing scale, simplest, it's actually quite hard to do. If you then back that into our capacitance technology, optical technology, it becomes 100,000 times more hard to do. So that's really a core part of what ABER offers, is that unique, we're going to measure X here, and wherever you are in the world, we'll still measure X, and whatever your situation is, we'll still measure X. And that's the real, it's really hard to do.
Yes.
And B, that's a huge value point as well.
It is. Because just to add a little bit of context to what you said from a customer's point of view too, you mentioned the weighing scale, right? But
Yeah.
what our customers are used to when it comes to biomass measurement is offline methods to measure cells.
Yeah.
So let's imagine like the trypan blue exclusion method is
Yeah.
such a common way to do it. And like you said, the biggest challenge is for them to get two instruments to measure the same thing.
Yeah.
But within the same instrument as well, if you were to take the same sample and measure it twice,
Yeah.
you want to measure the same thing. We know from experience, from anecdotal evidence, from also some case studies that our customers have done, it is common knowledge that with offline methods of measurement,
Yeah.
it's not repeatable.
Yeah.
It's quite challenging. Interoperator variability is a thing, inter-instrument variability is a thing. And like you said, that's where, even though it's been hard from an ABER point of view too, we have gotten to the stage where like our instruments are trusted in that sense.
Yeah. So that's probably what the outside world doesn't see, or the biologists don't
Yes.
see,
Yes.
is that
Yes.
you want to swap a probe, you buy another probe, you swap it, and you
That's
get the
right.
same answer.
That's right.
Behind the scenes in engineering needed to actually achieve that is massive, absolutely massive. And very hard to do. And if you look at some of our competitor products in the past, they've really struggled to actually achieve that. And I think we've put huge amounts of time, energy, and money into actually achieving that interchangeability of parts.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
expand on? I mean, I know many people may not be interested to know what's
Yeah.
going on, but a few maybe.
Yeah.
So just sort of give us a sneak peek behind the scenes of what has ABER done differently, let's say.
Persevered, probably, mainly.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
so yeah, because if you look at an individual probe,
Yeah.
because we're working in RF
Yeah.
signals and
Yeah.
very, very small signals.
radio
and
frequency,
And
yeah,
we're also
yeah.
trying to measure phase angles at a thousandth of a degree, minuscule. So we're in an industrial setting, in a real world setting where the temperature's changing, there's vibrations, there's all sorts of things going on. Most of the work, in a way, is overcoming all those challenges and building that into our products invisibly behind the scenes so that you can just swap probes or whatever.
Right. Right.
So the sensitivity in all that is very high, really.
Yes. I'm guessing it also helps that we had a team that invented this technology back in the day. So to
Yeah.
know this technology intimately, ground up, probably has also helped. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
no, I think that's right. I mean, I think one of the big advantages is, as we said earlier, the first, second, third generations are
Yes.
different types of electronics and ways of solving a similar problem.
Hmm.
But in going through those eras, if you like, we've learnt how to, you haven't just been able to chuck a computer at it. You've had to learn to really understand what is going on, where the signal's going, what they're sensitive to, what the outside world impacts are, what's important. And each generation, you kind of overcome more of those problems and know where to focus more of your energy more precisely to get a better result. Basically. Yeah.
So if you remember this, Matt, what prompted the move from second gen to third gen?
Well, I mean, probably primarily from a market perspective, it's size actually, and in
okay.
getting the form factors better
Yes.
to fit on the bioreactors the customer is using. If you've got a massive bioreactor, it's quite easy to bolt something on the side. There's plenty of space around it and whatever, relatively. But as you get down to this pilot scale benchtop and smaller, then it becomes harder and harder to fit the electronics you need to solve the problem.
Yeah.
So a large part of the third generation stuff was driven by form factors and trying, competing for headspace on your classic glass top bioreactor.
Yes.
Solving those problems meant you had going back up the chain. You've then got to have small electronics, whatever. You've got to have different solutions to doing that. I think the other part of that original FUTURA range was beginnings of single use as well. So we probably started working on single use concepts and ideas in probably 2008, quite a long time ago, and starting to get those working. So in that range, we brought in some of the first patch probe stuff. That's now moved on a lot, but so there's a few different angles, all market driven now, all what the end users needed to get the information need to solve their biological problem.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak about this from experience. I've been with Aber for a few years now, and we've always been customer driven. We've always most of the, if not all of our development work is prompted by direct customer feedback. So that story ties in quite nicely with that. You mentioned how we've wanted to make sure that irrespective of the probe that you use, you should get the same answer.
Yeah.
What about scales? So what has our approach been towards scalability? Like you measure at a small scale and a large scale and you get the same answer.
Well, it's the same problem you're solving in terms of being able to get the form factor right to get into the thing you're trying to measure, basically into the bioreactor you're trying to measure. So that's really the challenge. So the electronics of the measurement bit kind of stays the same in theory. The same is the same. It's how do you make this work in a ever smaller vessel usually. And form factor. But there's other layers on that. It's not just about size. If you've got a smaller vessel, the heating cooling of that vessel is closer to the measurements and everything, which is going to impact your measurements.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You're going to have condensation, dampness, whatever. You might have different pressures and things going on. A big part of the engineering challenge is actually just not stopping it leaking, actually, relatively simple. Before you even take leaking, as in, you don't want your bioreactor to leak in some way. You want it sealed.
Yes.
You don't want contaminations of things.
Yes.
Before you even take a measurement, you've got to solve that problem.
That's true.
And that could be, as challenging as sometimes taking the measurements.
Yes. I was thinking about some of the original stories that Bob has shared with us over the years about how it was challenging to go through all of these development cycles, even getting a stable zero.
Exactly.
Right.
Doing it in a lab's one thing. Doing it in the real world is very, very different. And then doing it internationally, where you've got every different climate. You've got to take out all that.
So the unit of capacitance measurement is picofarads per centimeter. Right. What is that centimeter bit?
So that is, overall we call it permittivity. So the measure of permittivity. So that's a measure of a material's one of the properties of material. So everything, this chair, everything has a permittivity level. Just like everything has a conductivity level, or it has a pH or whatever. And so it is a material property. So in the world of electronics, if you're dealing with capacitors or something, you'd have a permittivity of a material that you'd use in capacitors or something like that. So we measure cells as capacitors, so that's kind of why it relates back to the same measurement of picofarads per centimetre. So having it as per centimetre then means it's a property of the material, not a property of the measurement. So if you just measured picofarads, you would, in a beaker, you would measure 10 picofarads. If you change the beaker, the measure's going to change.
Yes.
If you turn it into per centimetre,
it becomes universal.
It's universal.
Yes.
It's a universal measurement. It's a property of the material you're measuring, as opposed to a property of the measurement center.
That makes sense. Just a slight sort of off-topic question. I've often heard that capacitance is also used in the airline industry, or to measure like very small distances between metal plates.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's used all over the place. I mean, your mobile phone has a capacitance touch screen these days, which is exactly the same idea, where your finger is part of that equation, and the phone it's less measuring the amount of capacitance, more measuring the location of the capacitance, so you know what it's touching. But you can use capacitance all sorts of ways, for sure. Like I say, every material has the same permittivity property.
I think that's good, Matt. Honestly, I think we've discussed a little bit of a history of how many generation systems we've been through. Like you said, we've persevered with some of these very real challenges of making sure that capacitance measurement can be trusted by our customers, not just across beakers and bioreactors, but across territories around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
We've spoken about the importance of having a unit of measurement, which is picofarads per centimeter, that is universal, and again, not dependent on the vessel that you're measuring it in. Are there any other thoughts from you regarding just scalability and
I think the main, we've touched on first, second, third generation. But that's not really telling the whole story, in the sense that the FUTURA brand, it goes into the fourth and even fifth generations of electronics and measurements technology. So the very latest stuff that's coming out now will be using even better and more accurate electronics and measurement systems, and with better form factors again, so you can measure in more accessible places. But the end result will be the same measurement.
From a customer point of view,
it's the same national standards. It's all calibrated the same way. You'll get the same answer, whichever piece kit we use. Even if you go back to a first generation piece kit now, you should get the same.
That is incredible, honestly, because being now into our 37th or 38th year, or around that time anyway, of capacitance measurement, it is now a reasonably mature technology. It's not as if it's in its fifth or sixth year, so there's a lot of users out there using our system. So there is a basic expectation from our customers of ABER that anything new that we come up with, all the work that they've done historically with their processes, they don't have to throw it in the bin, basically.
No, they carry it all forward.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Excellent. No, thank you so much, man. That was excellent. I think from my perspective, it is very interesting to interview you because you've started working for ABER before me. But my career has kind of followed yours. Wherever you've gone, I've sort of been in your team. And just there's so much insight that you can provide, because there's historical context. You've been a part of very important development work. And I'm glad that I got the opportunity to talk to you about scalability and ABER's approach to scalability, which I think, like you said, most of our customers don't hear about that because they don't need to.
Absolutely.
I'm really glad that we covered a lot of important stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.